Hey, this is Charlie. How you doing out there in internet land? We're uh, got spring coming. We got some flowers on the trees, so it's a good time. Take it away, Lisa.
Hey everyone, Lisa and Charlie here for our Georgia Suburban Homestead. We haven't done a live in a little bit. Uh, Out of the habit, trying to get back into it and try to line up some guests. We finally figured out how to get Charlie on here at the same time. You know, we're old farts. We take a while. Hey Gwen, welcome in. Welcome in. And tonight we're going to talk about survival vegetables. Hi, Gwen. We're ready for spring. Um, this weekend or next weekend? This weekend, I think we change our clocks forward. Let me check on that. Uh, Daylight saving Sunday, March 9th. So remember Saturday night when you go to bed to set your clock forward. Forward, and the first day of spring is when? March 20th. So you know, lots of things happening in March. Uh, so I'm really looking forward to get warmer. That Bud Files. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Um, I was perusing the internet one day and I found a video. Um, that's funny, Rico. You like me, you just leave them, huh? Um, and I found a video that was interesting. I'm going to get a little political, so please forgive me, but the way the administration is going and the world is going, I think that homesteading and gardening is going to be as important as it was during the Great Depression of some of our great grandparents, now my grandparents, and my mother growing up in the Depression. At the end of World War II, they had what was called pantry gardens. People were forced to grow their own because food just wasn't available. So I thought, well, maybe that would be a good topic to go over during a live here as we head into spring. Um, so you can go out and buy some of this stuff now. I did a little research. I ordered some things that we didn't have already, and I'll tell you where to find those. But Charlie and I are going to take turns talking about some of these vegetables uh, that were popular during the Depression that store a long time, give us needed nutrients and vitamins, and don't, they taste good if you know how to use them right. So, but before we get going, let's warm up and talk about how many people here can name some of the Depression era um, foods that may come in handy as our food sources become scarce in this country. Deportation of the people who work the farms, uh, fuel prices got sky high. The trade wars are really going to hit us. So, what do you think you will grow just off the top of your head um, that would be a good vegetable that's easy to grow, nutritious, and stores well? Um, March is the birthday for Gwen's first son and two sisters and two grandkids. That's the reason Gwen started. You know, I'm a big proponent of teaching kids to garden. A lot of children who won't eat vegetables will actually eat something because they've grown it and it's vegetable. And that's, you can get kids to eat things they wouldn't eat previously. So, anyone in here, can you come up with any ideas on what might be a vegetable that tastes good, easy to grow? These are three things that we need to think about when we're thinking about survival foods. Don't be shy. Oh, I don't know where Suzanne Golette is tonight. I didn't alert her, so I don't blame her for not being here yet. Maybe she. Um, Charlie grew up in a farming family out in the boonies of Alabama. And Charlie, without looking at our list, what did your family grow that kind of like a survival?
Or we put a lot of stuff up. North Alabama, you really can't grow a huge amount of things in the winter. Collards would work. Sometimes Swiss chard will grow through the winter. Doesn't put on a lot of growth though.
Can y'all hear him?
Oh,
You can hear yourself? Okay. No, because they survived on 2 bushels of potatoes one winter.
well, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, okra. Um,
Your mom used to pickle okra.
oh yeah.
Remember when I was my first pregnancy? That's all I wanted was pickled okra and horseradish sauce. Not together. Peaches, yum.
Applesauce, a lot of
Sauce.
put up.
She dried a lot of fruit.
Yeah, we dried a lot of fruit too, particularly at small orchards. So there was one tree that fused the
Hey, David, welcome in.
sour applesauce I've ever had.
It was good though, right? It was
Oh
sour.
yeah.
Did you serve the sour applesauce on anything special? The latke?
No. What's it like?
What's the latke? Don't you remember when we used to celebrate Hanukkah with the Burmans and Passover and
Potato pancake.
potato pancakes? They used to have me make them. We're not Jewish, but our best friends were, and I tried making latkes one year, and they liked the way I did them, so I got to make them every year. And traditionally, you put sauce and sour cream on the top. So, what else, honey, that you do in North Alabama?
It's a standard gardening product.
Well, what's standard gardening for you may not be standard for other people who are here, right?
Yellow zucchini. Families and 20 zucchini plants is a ridiculous amount of zucchini.
Yeah.
Pickles, we grew a lot of pickles.
A lot of
A lot
pickles.
of cucumbers, pickles. And one time, I found a book, all it was about was pickles. And still going through the recipes in that book, which is pretty interesting. Learned all sorts of things you can pickle that I hadn't thought of.
Yeah, well, his mom is a great cook, and she used to can. And Charlie was the baby of the family, so he spent a lot of time helping his mom in the kitchen with canning, and he can so well. Um, so, and Mom's still with us. I don't know if she's going to tune in tonight, but she watches the videos a lot. So, hey, Mom, if you're tuning in. Hey, Eggborn Jamaican, blessings to you too. We're talking survival food tonight. What do you do? What do you grow that you think is a survival food in stores now? And while you're coming up with that idea, when are you coming to visit? I got a present for you. Yeah. You didn't grow too many pumpkins?
Yeah. Pumpkins are a good survival for winter.
Oh no. Gwen says her daughter made a couple of jars of pickles from cucumbers she grew, and the grandkids ate them all before she could get any. What
That
kind of
must have been
pickles?
good.
Charlie's mom used to make bread and butter pickles, which were really good.
Yeah.
Those were really good.
Piccalilli.
Piccalilli, that's my recipe.
Well, she did it also.
She did it also, same type, piccalilli?
Yeah. With a lot of green beans.
Yeah, Gwen says no. Okay, so when we get done, I don't know how long this is going to take tonight. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a bit, with the survival vegetables, or Depression era vegetables. But feel free to jump in and say, "Oh, you know that," or you know a recipe, or you have a memory surrounding a particular food. We're going to let Charlie start with talking about rutabaga because I gag thinking about rutabaga. So Charlie, tell us about how many of y'all know rutabagas and how many of y'all like it while he tells us about the rutabaga.
Rutabagas were original Yankee turnip.
The Yankee turnip.
Yeah. You should know this if you remember your mother always making rutabaga for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Folks tend not to eat rutabaga any other time of the year. Pretty much only eat it for Thanksgiving dinner. It used to be relatively common once a week or so, mass rutabaga.
So she'd boil it and mash it?
Yeah, that's the common way of doing rutabagas. Any a turnip can be used for, can pretty much be used for. But it's got a totally different flavor and it's significantly harder to cut up.
I think they're bitter.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of residual bitterness. Some people like bitter.
So what does my info sheet say about rutabagas? Tell everybody when to plant them.
Frost. Grow pretty much all summer long to get their size up, and you can harvest them in the fall and put them in the root cellar.
Plant them about 14 or 18 inches apart because they get big.
I get big orange-looking thing. In fact, the original jack-o'-lantern was that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They carve up fruit. They put a little tea candle-like thing in it and use it as a lantern when they went around going from house. Later, they started using pumpkins. I guess they figured they had plenty of rutabagas and they preferred their pumpkin for pumpkin pie.
Brandon Gardner, welcome in. We're talking survival vegetables and vegetables that they ate during the Depression. We're about to get into situation again. So Charlie's talking about rutabagas. I think you plant them half an inch deep and 4 inches between plant,
Yeah, you can go a little thicker and then thin them out.
and then thin them out.
Separate your rows out, and then it's like everything else. If you crowd it, you're going to get smaller if you get anything at all.
Can you eat the greens?
I don't know.
Does anyone know that? Can you eat rutabaga?
I'm not even sure if there is area, but they're usually treated like a turnip.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the next vegetable on our list, and I should really start showing pictures. Let's see if I can figure this out. Survival food to me would be food that we store, like turnips, cabbage, apples, and pumpkins. Yeah. Let's see. So present. Would it be a slide or an image file, Charlie? Share screen, right?
Yeah. Many times you still can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that. I set up a file. Yeah.
Anyway, tell them the name of the next.
Yeah, I'm trying to find to show pictures. It just occurred to me I have. There we go. We're talking about rutabaga.
Yeah.
Y'all know me. I am challenged. That's not what I wanted to do.
From where?
Okay, stop. Present image share screen.
SONS. Can't say as I have because I don't even know who they are. I haven't heard of them before.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's a root.
That's a rutabaga. Everyone recognize that?
Yes. Thanksgiving comes around. It's about that. And also.
Oh, has anyone bought blueberry or fruit trees from Iceland's? I have not. All right, here's a interesting thing. If I can get it
see on the rutabaga how much is above ground.
Yeah, it's not very much above ground.
Oh, the purple part.
Why won't it scroll through the pictures for me, Charlie?
I don't know. Are you using your scroll with your mouse?
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, how many of you have heard of the Mangel wurzel? This is a mango wurzel.
Make the picture bigger, baby.
It's as big as that lady. Yeah, it's a turnip on steroids, Gwen, and it's really bitter. My mother loved
Not
I
a turnip.
but it's not a turnip.
Still,
Okay, so this is a mango wurzel. Mango wurzel? Who speaks German? Um, anyone familiar with this?
sometimes called a fodder beet.
Yeah, sometimes it's called a fodder beet, but it grows rather large. It grows best in full sun, well-drained soil. You can grow it from seed. You can harvest the roots and leaves. It's about 6 hours of sunlight a day. It's a well-drained soil. But you make it like a potato or use it as fruit. Like you,
It is a beet.
beet. Look at this. I think one would feed a family of 6 a meal, wouldn't you?
And it gets pretty sweet.
I found seed for this on Etsy. So I ordered some seed from Etsy, and I will try to grow them this year. You know, it kind of reminds me of a sugar beet because the sugar beets are really big.
It's actually a version of the beet. Beets, mango orchard, Swiss chard, all the other
Yeah.
beets are the same plant, just bred differently.
I think it's terrifying.
These were very popular plant for a long time because they plant whole fields of
Mm-hmm.
it, and they eat them during summer, but during the winter they run their cattle or whatever.
Why?
Well, they eat the leaves, and the cattle eat the leaves.
Oh,
That's
that's why they call it a fodder beet.
right. That's why it's called fodder beet. Used as
David says it's weirdly unsettling.
it's just a giant beet. Supposed to be very sweet.
It's supposed to be extremely sweet, very, very tasty. So I'm going to plant them. So keep tuned into my channel, our channel, and see if we have any success A, growing them, and B, eating them.
Yeah, we don't have a huge amount of success with beets and
Well,
cards.
last couple of years I've had some success with the beets. If I plant them directly, which I did this year and last year, I actually get beets instead of trying to start them in the greenhouse. So direct sow them. So the next on the list to talk about something that Charlie has tried to grow, but we're going to dedicate red to it this time.
But actually,
You did? I don't remember.
yeah, it was down where you want to plant the corn. It's
I
called
remember it, but it didn't really come up, did it?
Oh yeah, it produced a giant plant, big roots. Plant is huge compared to the root, and the problem with it is you rub against the leaves and you will get blisters.
This is what he's talking about. It is called what?
Salsify.
Salsify. Did you hear what Charlie said? If you rub against the leaves, you get blisters. It's like stinging nettle.
Well, no, it's like poison ivy as far as creating the little skin outbreaks. but it's worse than poison ivy because those blisters will last for at least for 2 or 3 weeks.
The blisters last 2 or 3 weeks. I think that's why I never tried to eat it because I wasn't going to harvest it.
Yeah, you have to be really good for harvest.
So tell us about the flavor. You read a little bit of research I have there for you.
Yeah, it supposedly tastes like oysters
It's like oyster.
used as a substitute for some seafoods and dishes. You slice it up into disc and cook them into whatever you're going to make your dish, and it's supposed to taste like oysters.
Yeah,
In spring, let it grow all summer, and like all these root crops, you harvest it. Well, if you harvest it, you can get it in the ground, harvest it.
that's handy. And leave it in the ground, and anytime you want it through the winter, just go dig what you need.
And the good part about that is all the leaves are not so blistering.
Right. So yeah, I guess you need to mark it with a flag to know where it is.
Oh yeah,
If you're letting it sit in the ground, you want to dig it up. Uh, so according to our research here, it'll stay fresh if you do dig it up and store it. It stays fresh for 6 months in
yeah.
cold storage. And I'm going to talk about the Jerusalem artichoke, and we actually have these all over the yard. This is, see if I can find the Jerusalem artichokes here.
Nope, 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 nope.
We'll get there. Will you recognize them when I bring it up?
Hey,
There. Jerusalem artichokes. Now I have to tell y'all, the Jerusalem artichoke is like a little potato, and you can get them in the grocery store here in the spring. All you have to do is plant that in the ground, and once it blooms and goes to seed, you've got them. So the stalk up about 15 feet has um, it has a bloom like a daisy.
it's a form of sunflower.
It is a form of sunflower, and it's a Native American or First Nation survival food. Perennial. I let the freezes kill them, and I don't chop down the stems because when you want to go dig them up to eat them, you just go out and look for the dead stem and follow the ground, dig around the roots, the roots around the roots. What type of cold storage is better, underground or electricity? I think underground. But if you don't have a root cellar, put in the fridge. Uh,
These things are best left in the ground.
but you just leave these guys like the salsify. These guys, you just leave them in the ground until you want to use them, so you don't have to go dedicate any space storing them. Um, but if you want to buy them, you can find them um, in the grocery store in the spring. If you can't, maybe yours truly will send you one or two. Um, they like full sun, but we've got ours in partial sun and they thrive. Uh, and as I say, I wait until the frost has killed them better to start harvesting. But I've got a picture of what they look like when they bloom. You see that sunflower like bloom? That's on a really tall stalk, and the hummingbirds love them.
Yeah, about the time the balloon stalks are falling over,
Yeah, the stalks start falling over. Yeah.
where it drops the seeds, you're going to get new plants.
Walk across the road.
And if you try to grow them The roots will grow down through the bottom of the pot, come out the bottom, close in the bottom, go into the ground. And next thing you know, they're going to grow out of the ground instead of just pot. So it doesn't really help to put them in a pot. Keep them from going everywhere. Um, it will grow down through that pot, go into the ground, put your tubers down under there, and the next year they'll come up where you get.
Hey, Suzanne, welcome in. I wasn't sure you were going to make it. I forgot to notify you. I'm so sorry.
The one thing use on artichoke probably want to put them. You can eat the raw, but the main energy storage in the Jerusalem artichoke is not starch; it's inulin.
Yeah, that's right. It's inulin, and inulin makes you tooty.
Oh man, it makes
You'll toot worse than
yeah.
beans. That's good for you. But if you're diabetic, it doesn't spike your blood sugar. So since we grow, because I'm a bad diabetic.
It's just like sawdust if you're going to put the box in the ground.
Okay, so Gwen says she wants to buy a metal box for in-ground storage.
I've known folks to have like a freezer or refrigerator that died, and they will dig out the ground and put that in there. Um, just close the lid. The problem with it is you got to make sure you don't allow any kids to get playing with them.
Yeah, did you hear that, Gwen? Some people will bury a dead refrigerator or freezer in the ground and use that for storage, but make sure there's small children that get in it, because it'll be disaster. Um, how aggressive are Jerusalem artichokes? I guess it depends on where you are and what your soil is like. But here in Georgia, where they're native, they spread like wildfire, and the stalks fall over. Keep in mind, the stalks are like 15 feet tall. So when they fall over, they're reaching way over yonder and dropping their seed. And then the next year, you've got them in that spot.
The good thing
You've got a shorter growing season. What?
they don't put seed.
But she's in Canada, so I think
Yeah,
I heard shorter growing season. I don't think they would grow as tall. Give it a try. I mean, what do you got to lose?
You're in the ground or frozen solid. You probably want to harvest them in the fall. Pick them up in the fall because you won't be able to do it in the winter.
I cooked some Jerusalem artichokes. Some people call them sunchokes for Charlie. When we first started growing them, we haven't really had them this winter. But I sliced them up and sauteed them in butter with a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, and they were really good. They were really good. Okay, so Charlie's going to talk to us about winter radish. I don't have a picture, but the winter radishes are like the daikon and the Yukon Gold, the really big radishes. So Charlie, tell us about big radishes.
If you go to an Asian food store, you are probably going to find the daikon radish, and the Koreans grow one that is 6 to 8 inches long and 5 inches across. They're not as long as the daikon.
That's the daikon.
That's a short daikon.
That's a short daikon. We grew one in Florida that was 4 feet long.
Yeah. If you get the right variety, a daikon be several feet long. Because they do produce that huge root that when it dies and rots, got a hole in the ground that it collects water, rainwater, and so on. So So it kind of tills your soil for you. Some of these folks that believe in no-till and cover cropping, dicoms. And you can also go out and eat things. A lot of folks have never tried radish greens, but they are pretty good.
Yeah, radish
Especially
greens are good.
a little bit of apple cider vinegar, peppers, good.
Yeah, I learned a few years ago to roast radishes, regular radishes, and the black radish we planted a lot of salt, pepper, olive oil, toss them, put them in the oven and roast them at 350 for a little bit, and they are delicious that way. Of course, wasabi is made with this particular radish. So let's see. I was going to talk about parsnips. Parsnips
Oh, the radish is the main ingredient in some kimchis.
and kimchi. Yeah.
You can't make kimchi without forming rental radish.
Where are the parsnips? I got pictures. Parsnips.
Thank you. There you are.
Are those the parsnips?
That's a parsnip. Wide crown, nice tubers.
Now, Charlie likes parsnips. I like them if mixed with other root vegetables in a stew. Some people will boil them, mash them, whatever. But, or the sources I was looking at today suggested making them for treat. They thrive in cold weather when they're even sweeter. You harvest them in cold weather. Um, Bake them and serve them with honey drizzled over the top, and they are packed with loads of calories, more so than other vegetables. And they're another crop that you can leave buried in the ground until you're ready to use it. So dig through the snow, dig them up, just let them sit in place instead of dedicating space in your cold storage. So then there's something called a Hamburg rooted parsley. Um, do have a photo here somewhere. Charlie's going to talk to you
Yeah.
about the Hamburg rooted parsley while I search out the picture.
You might notice that a lot of these vegetables are root crops. You don't have to worry about the top freezing as much. Well, one that does grow commonly in winter is the collards and the Swiss chard. Like I say, Swiss chard doesn't grow very fast enough. Um, there are some mustards that grow in winter that will take a light frost, take a deep frost. But yeah, all these root vegetables, I always say grow plenty of these. If you get I'll be a you got a lot of food, you know.
We're getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. I think it's already here.
We start having
Xander, how are you?
getting food into the grocery stores like they do in some places.
Yeah,
in
we're going to have
Europe.
trouble getting food. I like these crops, Charlie. The idea that you can leave them until you need them. So leave them to the um, Xander says it's utter cuckoo. So that's the Hamburg rooted parsley. It's like a carrot. It has more vitamin C than oranges. You can harvest the leaves in late summer and then dig the root in the fall. Okay.
One of those dual use
So I've got on my list to talk to y'all about turnips. Everybody knows turnips, right? It's from seed to harvest. It takes 6 weeks, and then you can turnips start in the spring and just plant until late fall. Um, Eat the greens as they come up, or eat, eat the bulb. No, when we grow turnips, which we're doing this year,
Yeah.
um, globe top and purple top turnips is what we're growing this year. We rarely get any because somebody tends to pull them out of the ground, peel them, and right there in the garden. So that and kohlrabi. If we grow kohlrabi and we get the bulb forming, someone over here doesn't share, doesn't right. So the southern boy over here is going to talk to us about collard greens.
There is everybody's, I'm sure, has had turnip green, a little pepper vinegar on them too. Uh, but collards are the forever green.
Collards are forever green. Yeah.
They were grown years in the Georgia variety plant, and you may be harvesting that plant for over 5 years.
Right.
It keeps growing, and it's really nice in the spring. The young leaves have a really sweet.
Because they've been frosted on. Collards sweeten up if they've gone through frost.
Uh, kind of leathery almost. So that makes them one of the few leaves that people will dry. So you pick up on leaves and you dry them, and later, if you're really hungry, you can hydrate them. I call it, what's this recipe?
I make
Either fatback or
fatback, yeah.
bacon and pepper. You've got them for years. I've seen a collard green, the stem would be 5 feet long. The bottom, it just puts on two leaves at the top. Leaves produce for a while and they die. So it creates this cell that just keeps growing. There is a variety, if I remember correctly, it is a collard that is used for making walking sticks.
Walking stick. That's a kale.
That's a kale?
Yeah. It grows like 6 feet tall. Yeah. And we planted Ethiopian collard greens. And I make an Ethiopian collard green stew that Charlie took to work when he worked for the Navy. And he took it to work, heated it up. Next thing I know, I'm getting all these phone calls. I want your recipe. I want your recipe. But the Ethiopians do wondrous things with collard greens. And, you boil them, clean them, cut them into ribbons, get that boiling for about 45 minutes. And while that's going, you do onions, garlic, fresh ginger, your favorite hot pepper, and a spice that's called berbere, which is kind of like garam masala, if you know garam masala from India. And you put all that in a little bit of oil and let that go, and let it soften up. And then when colors boiling 45 minutes, 50 minutes, lift the collard greens out of their pot, put it in the skillet with the other stuff with a cup of the broth that the collard greens have been cooking in. Crank your heat way up. Just keep flipping, mixing and flipping that whole mixture until the water evaporates, and see if your eyes don't roll back in your head. It's so delicious. Yeah. I cook that for Charlie a lot, and I also do a stew with collard greens, Moroccan sausage, and butter beans. Let's see.
And if you want a plant that will for a long time, give you things, hey, grow yourself some collards.
So
The survival food.
they are the ultimate survival food. So let's see. I'm going to tell you about Swiss chard. I love Swiss chard. Chard is in the beet family. So if you've ever had beet and like them, you probably like chard, and I will eat chard. Raw, I think I do. This is rainbow chard. It's darn expensive at the market. But I eat it raw. I put it in salads. I put it in stews, stir fries, cook it just as a green one. I just love the flavor. It's earthy and comforting, and it's a good come again vegetable. So cut and come again, they call it. So if you just pick a couple of the leaves, it responds by putting out a couple more leaves. So you don't cut the whole thing off. You just harvest from the sides of the plant what you need when you need it. Um, and again, it's in the beet family. Really high in vitamin A and C. So now Charlie's going to talk to us about winter cabbage.
Winter cabbage. Like summer cabbage, but it grows in the winter. I mean, they grow a lot of cabbage in Russia and Germany and other very cold areas. Like
I got cabbage to do somewhere.
well, if you really want to see big cabbage, look up the ones they grow in Alaska. You get into the area that's sunlight 24 hours a day, that cabbage will just keep on growing.
We grew cabbage. Was it last year we got the 30-pound cabbage? Or the year before?
Year before.
I ordered seed from Kova seed in Ukraine. That's wonderful. They give you, what load of seed for like $1, less than $2. Very
Hopefully
worthwhile
it'll
to
be around.
order your seed from the Kova seed in Ukraine. They starting last summer, they're not exporting to the United States any tomatoes or peppers. I don't know what's going on with them, but I think they're still doing the brassicas. So I grew some of the Eastern European cabbage. When Charlie picked it, he goes, "I'm going to fall over. It's so heavy." It was really huge. It was really. So. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah,
Sauerkraut.
it's if you know the type that will survive during the winter, summer types, just spread it up, stick it in a crop with some salt, let it ferment, all winter long.
Yeah, but it stays fresh if you cut it up to 8 months, doesn't it?
Depending on the variety.
Frost resistant, high vitamin C. Plant in the midsummer for winter harvest.
Yeah, give it plenty of work because that plant that you're seeing in the picture is probably 3 feet across.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah, it's huge. And I'm sorry that this program is not printing, not showing you the pictures in the order I put in the file. I have to have a random order coming up. But I want to talk to you about navy beans. There we are. Navy beans or white beans. Um, they're really, really high in protein. My doctor, my endocrinologist that I just went to see, told me to start increasing my leggings more than I am now. And he's from India, and he says, "I know you like Indian food. Do you know how to make dal?" Yeah, I know how to make dal. But the navy beans are really high in protein, um, and it has nearly as much protein as a serving of meat. And you can pick them fresh or let them dry on the vine in the store over winter. And beans last, if you dry the beans, they last for years. Also, one of the benefits of growing beans is they fix nitrogen. They take nitrogen out of the air and they put it into the soil. Whatever you plant next after the beans are gone, thrive. It's a high nitrogen plant. So that's a benefit. It's a win-win. Some people will plant these navy beans alongside corn. The beans come out in the clods of corn. So when the corn stalks are done, don't cut them down because they can support your navy beans. Oh, okay. And that leads us to the Kentucky Wonder Pole bean. Charlie's going to tell you about that.
Yeah, the three sisters. They were grown in the corn and corn stalk. Navy beans tend to be bush. Kentucky Wonders are a pick it once, and on more.
Right, so, the more you pick, the more it'll give you.
It's going to keep blooming. If you let it set the seed, then yeah, it's going to stop producing more flowers and all because it's going to put the energy into those seeds. But if you collect it for green beans, you can get a lot of green beans.
Will you talk to us about the three sister method? Does everyone know what the three sister method is? Everyone knows that?
The three sisters was a Native American concept where they grew maize, pumpkins right against each other. The corn was planted early so that you could get the stalk growing. The beans a little later so they could run up the corn stalk and then plant pumpkins. And they cover the ground to hold in moisture. So it's like they become like a cover crop for the ground. Now the beans will add protein, well, nitrogen, which gets converted. Nitrogen gets converted into the protein. A lot of it gets shoved into the bean cell. Only a small amount actually goes into the leaves and so on, but it still produces a good bit of nitrogen. So that nitrogen then goes to kind of feed the corn and the pumpkin. One of those things that you leave it in the field for it to soil. This was where I was gonna.
This is where what?
Give me a second. There's another plant that tended to be grown with these and to help keep the insects out. I don't know what it was. Three main crops though, and it's not the corn that you think of you buy in the grocery store. This is the field corn.
Field corn.
It was dry,
Dried on stalk, right?
right, dried on the field corn or field corn, they usually called it. It had a little bitty dimple in it. And then it was ground up for cornbread,
Cornbread.
like that.
Mm. Charlie used to make.
Hominy. Hominy is where you take the corn, put it in wood ashes. Wood ashes kind of force the starch in the corn to expand, and you get a lot better nutrition out of the corn that way. One of the problems with corn is it's not ground up and treated. You can get starch, but you won't get much of the other nutrients out. Another part of the Three Sisters was the pumpkins, which were great for using in their stews in the winter. And what they called the civilized tribes, which were the ones that were not used to houses, stay in the houses, they would have storage areas for storing a lot of pumpkin, beans.
Charlie loves pumpkin. Who knows what this is? And this is the next thing that we're going to talk about. Some people call them tomatoes. They're actually ground cherries. Make pies and jams and things. They're really sweet. We planted them, I think, the first winter here in Georgia. I planted them in front of the house there, and it's like 3 or 4 really nice bushes of them. We didn't really get very many of the fruit because the animals beelined it and got the fruit before we could really harvest enough for just enough to snack while we're working in the garden. But it did attract in cedar waxwing birds, which are on or were on the watch list for extinction. Here in Georgia, people have been killing them off. Planting, was as the neighborhoods are expanding and landscaping plants such as the dwarf nandina, which is that bush that produces white berries that turn bright red in the winter. They're very colorful and ornamental, but they're poisonous to the animals. And the cedar waxwings they're fruit eaters. So they will go for those bushes in the dead of winter when there's not much around for them to eat. And people would find whole flocks of them dead in their yards. So if you've got nandina bushes, please cut them out, dig them up. You're poisoning the wildlife. Okay. This is a ground cherry. Xander, have you ever had ground cherries? They're really easy to grow. I ordered seed. I'm going to try to grow them again this year. My favorite variety is called Aunt Molly. And I ordered it from an Etsy company called Seed Cult. And $2.92 a package. She charges you, what load for shipping. So save your seeds, save a few from year to year. If you go ahead and order those. So if you can grow tomatoes where you are, Xander, you can grow peas. It's very easy. All right, Charlie's going to talk about field peas, another southern vegetable.
Yeah. These are kind of like a bean.
Pain in the butt shell.
English peas that were actually grow during the doesn't die in the heat. There's one that's very common in Jamaica. What is it? Pigeon pea? And pigeon pea will produce a bush or get up to 8 feet tall and produce a huge amount of peas. And they fry them and then cook them or fries. Beans. It's probably actually a pigeon pea instead of a bean. Uh, they're a legume, a nitrogen fixer. Um, take the shell that you shelled them, put them back in your garden. Uh, what is it, if I remember correctly? In Tennessee, they will spread these on the whole shell, put a thread in the middle of it, hang it up to dry.
It sounds pretty.
Well, it's what leather breeches. If you look up the leather breeches real quick,
Leather breechy.
breeches. Weird name, but it just indicates the dried pea pods.
Oh. Well, the next on the list for me to talk about is field corn, but Charlie already done that. So we'll let storage onion. The storage onions are different. If you read my notes on these, onions are different from just regular ones from the grocery.
Yeah, the thing I remember about onions is there's a huge family of plants. Everything from chives to garlic to Gypsum walking onions to the what's the garlic, elephant garlic.
I didn't get a picture of the storage onions.
Huge number of different forms of onions. What I remember about onions is that you can plant the seed in the fall, grow them through the winter, and they will then grow bulbs in the but you need to pick the right variety. The south world, you want the short day onions because we have short days in this winter.
Oh, yeah, onions.
In the north, they grow the long days. The day is actually longer in the north than it is in the south during the summer. Remember, Alaska have 24-hour daylight. So if you in the south, if you want to grow onions, pick a variety that's called a short day onion. You're in the north, the variety it's called a long day. And storage onions, well, they're just designed to store a long time.
I'm going to talk about cardoon. Anyone in here ever grow a cardoon? That's a cardoon.
That thing can hurt.
Brampton Gardner, are you still here? Do you grow cardoons? Well, up north, I just ordered some from Mountain Valley Seed. It was only $2.49 for 50 seeds. Charlie wanted to, what do we call it? Milk thistle. Charlie wanted to grow these when we got up here in Florida because they really do better in cooler weather. And I said no because this plant will bite you. It's kind of like stinging nettle. If you harvest it, you need gloves and peel it in the garden. stalks before you cook them. It's relative of the artichoke. They do have thorns. It's a perennial, frost hardy. And once you've peeled the stalks, okay, and then you bake them or add them to soup. You can sow them in pots starting in January, even far north. Thin out the weak plants and transplant seedlings after your final frost has come in. Um, you harvest them after 60 to 75 days, but you leave the base of the plant in the ground so it'll regroup for your next season. So it's one of those perennials that keeps on giving. But again, don't put it where you're going to walk by it and scrape against the leaves because it will bite you. And yes, pollinators, flies, bees, pollinators love these blossoms. Look at the picture. There's a bee right there, I think.
Get down in the flower.
Yeah, it's down in the flower. I had a couple of pictures of them. Yeah, this is what the greenery looks like, and this is the part that you eat.
Or you eat the stem.
Yeah, you eat the stem.
Leaves will bite you.
Yeah, the leaves will bite you. So that's going to be a hey, Naresh, how are you? So that's going to be one that I'll let the husband harvest because I'm a wimp.
In the corner,
Oh.
walking around and
Welcome in, Naresh. Charlie is going to talk to you about Skirit, 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 and we're going to plant some very soon. We got some seed from the Experimental Farm Network. Again, almost everything that we're planting this year are perennial, and the gifts that keep on giving. So, Charlie, tell us about Skirit. What is
a Skirit is a carrot family. It's basically a perennial carrot. Um, you grow it for 3 or 4 years, harvest the fresh roots, put the part back in the ground. Or you can try pull some dirt from around the thing. Notice it just puts out a whole bunch of roots. And from extend out from the crown, you can just go in and
Whoops.
harvest those roots. So, like I say, it's a perennial carrot. It will last for years. Give it carrot light. Again, this is a great zombie apocalypse plant.
A zombie apocalypse plant. When you hear Charlie say that, it means this is a truly emergency medicine.
Very popular for a long time. Eventually, they lost out to the biennial carrot.
Well, you can, according to the notes, you can grow them in containers and harvest them all winter long. Just leave them as needed. It's another one of those you leave in the ground until you want to eat it.
Yep.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you about Good King Henry, which is a great spring green. It's a perennial. You eat the tender shoots and cook it like asparagus. You can eat the leaves. They can be eaten raw or cooked, and it spreads. Almost no care. Thrives from poor soil. And let's see. I think I've got a picture of it here. Might not. Good King Henry. There it is. All right. Gotta figure out what the computer's storing it.
Nope, that's just regular turnips. Is that it?
No. It's not showing it in the order I've got it on the screen, baby. There it is. Good King Henry. Does anyone have something like this growing wild in their yard?
This is in the same family as sheep's foot, isn't it?
Family of what?
Sheep's foot.
Goosefoot. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Sorry.
Okay, so that's a green that this is what my notes say about it. Either raw or cooked. It spreads, which means it's probably like a weed. Okay, now Charlie's going to talk to us about this. Who knows what this is?
This is a Native American plant, one of the few.
Susanna, you asking about the good King Henry? Probably do see it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been spreading wild.
I think it is. I think it's one of those Native American plants. We have to look it up.
And
Charlie, tell us what this is.
this is what's called American groundnut.
American groundnut.
It's actually in the bean family. Produces a little seed like what's those little ones that you make dal out of?
Lentils.
Lentils.
Our Indian
Hard to
friend.
harvest the seed because when the pod gets mature, it pops and throws the seed across the yard.
Yeah, they spit the seed everywhere. Once you've got it, you'll find it climbing all over the place.
So it's grown for the seed, the leaves, the flowers, and in the winter you can dig up those roots. It's a perennial bean.
Perennial bean, American groundnut.
Um,
Again, it's full of inulin.
Produces the tuberous as the root spreads underground.
And that's what the leaves look like. You can eat the leaves, right, Charlie?
Yep. Eat the leaves, eat the flowers.
And these are the
seeds.
flowers.
And I should have pulled one up, but we pulled out of the ground the other day. It's about a foot long piece of root that has like 5 nodes on it. Runs down the thing. It prefers a slight amount of dampness. You'll find it wild in the U.S. and low damp areas. And once it starts, those tubers are everywhere. Not very popular anymore.
A lot of people don't know, we Americans are so used to having food provided for us from the grocery stores. It's so has limited the variety of things that we eat. But everything we've talked about tonight, some of it may be familiar to you, some of it not. But again, this is all survival things that you plant that will sustain you. That some of it's just plant it once and it's there. This is called something else, and it'll come to you, Xander. Let us know when it does. And it's a name a lot of people find good manners. Okay, so what's the name? I have no manners, so tell us what name you're thinking. Uh, okay, runner beans. Everyone knows what a runner bean looks like, right? They're like look like lima beans, but they've got different colors. Green pods, climber that when pods first come out, you can use it as a snap. But it's a great dried bean too. Dried beans last for years. It's got a red, white, or bicolor blossom to attract pollinators. Climbs 10 feet or higher, but it is protein rich. I was going to talk a little bit about dandelion.
Oh, dandelion.
Oh, yeah. You have to get the dandelion.
Don't ever poison your dandelion.
Yeah, don't ever poison your dandelions.
The leaves are a little bitter, but they're really good for you. Um, you the kind of what's the term I'm looking for? Get rid of toxins.
Well, so, yeah, it's a detox. So it's a probiotic. It's a diuretic.
People make wine out of the blossoms. I've never tried that. I'm not sure why it would taste good if you actually eat the blossoms. They're bitter like the leaf.
People make fritters with the blossoms, jelly.
The great dandelions is that you can grow a good root, pull the root out, wash it real well, even scrape it, and roast that, and it makes a coffee-like tea. I mean,
We had
tea.
dandelion root tea tonight. So good.
But it's really not a little sugar, a little cream in it, and I like it more than coffee. But it's not going to have any caffeine in it. Also, a bit of inulin. So when you eat the roots, you're going to get the gas.
Oh, and it's never done that to me though.
But it's a morphine plant as well.
It's a very beneficial plant. So if you've been poisoning your dandelion, you're really getting off a good food source, very healthy food source for yourself.
It is an indicator plant.
And it's an indicator plant. So talk to us a little bit about what is an indicator plant, Charlie?
Where in this case, dandelion indicates your soil is too compacted. It it grows where your sorrel has been packed from walking over to it, or your blood over your sorrel. And I'm trying to remember whether the leaves stand up, it means one thing. When the leaves lay down, it means something else.
Yeah, I probably got that backwards, but when the leaves are out, I think it's loosening the soil. And as the soil gets loose, they come up, or it's the opposite. Because dandelion will break up compacted soil, like you just said. Could be when the leaves are growing this way, it says the soil is really compacted, and as the soil loosens, it lays down. But it's one or the other, and I can never get it straight. Um, but another thing that should be coming out in the next couple of weeks are lamb's quarters, and that's a vegetable that you might recognize just as a weed in your yard, but it's actually quite nutritious. let's see. I know it's in here somewhere. There we
There
go.
we go.
Lamb's quarters.
You see this one wild all the time. And
Yeah, they're all
There
over
it
our
is.
yard. It's rich in iron, fast growing green. It comes in the spring. It's drought tolerant through the summer. You can eat the young shoots like asparagus. Then, then there's something called sea kale, and I'm going to do this one, Charlie. I could have assigned it to him, but unless you live on the coast, you're not going to grow sea kale. It looks for salty, sandy soil, and you eat the shoots in the spring and the leaves in the summer like cabbage. Um, some plants can produce food for you for over 20 years. Let's see where the sea kale is, but it does need salty soil. And I know y'all aren't going to salt your garden beds to grow it. Kind of looks like a succulent in a way. Um, but if you live on the coast, look for some sea kale. In one plant, live 20 years and feed you for 20 years. There you are. Anyone remember seeing this when they go to the beach? Anyone recognize this from the beach? I think we've put everyone to sleep again, Charlie. What beach? Okay. This next one I'm going to talk about is an interesting plant coming over from Japan to help us
You went back.
um, help us combat erosion, and is now known as the plant that ate the South. It's all over the southeastern United States. Who recognizes this? Anyone take a guess what this is?
Kudzu. Nope, kudzu.
Kudzu. I just got this book. I ordered 2 books on kudzu. The Book of Kudzu, a culinary and healing guide. You can eat every part of the plant. It grows at a rapid speed, several feet a day. You could probably, if you stood in one place and stared at it, you could probably watch it actually grow. And I've got a kudzu cookbook.
Used to be a food plant in Japan. Actually, still is. You can order kudzu starts on Amazon.
Yes, in fact, I was going to give as one of my drawings tonight the kudzu starch. So I'm trying to get people to talk to me. I think everyone's asleep, really. Um, but I'm hoping that I've got some adventurous people in the audience here.
Someone says
By
that.
the way, go ahead if you're not already a member, please thumbs it up, make a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But this is kudzu. Hello, indoor gardener. Welcome in.
Kudzu is another one of the good zombie apocalypse.
This is a zombie apocalypse plant. I got doing research on, when all the silliness that's going on started and all the tariffs and everything, I said, okay, things are going to get serious real quick here with food supplies and whatever. What can I wild forage? And kudzu came up. Just up the street, just a couple of hundred yards up the street, starts the kudzu. And I said, great, I'm going to order the cookbook. I'm going to order the medicinal as a medicinal herb. And we're gonna knock on the neighbor's door that owns the land and say, hey, can we harvest kudzu when we want it this summer? Maybe trade them some honey because I know the bees in the really hot part of the summer will go to the blossoms. This is what the
occasionally.
blossoms look like. If there's absolutely nothing else blooming, the bees will do the kudzu
Yeah.
blossoms and they produce a purple honey if they've been harvesting kudzu. I think that's a lovely blossom. It is edible. Um,
Yeah, if you find purple honey in your hives, it means that your bees are having a hard time finding anything else to eat.
okay, so while I look up a recipe to share with y'all for the kudzu, Charlie's going to talk about this plant that we found in the picture, which is actually, we've been munching on this in the yard already. It's here. And it'll bloom and flourish until the warm weather hits.
It's definitely
Let
a
me
winter
see.
plant.
It's a winter or spring. Here we are. And if you live in the southeast, you probably see this all over the place.
But
Is
those
kudzu a perennial? You betcha it's a perennial.
flowers you see on your screen are larger on the screen than actually on the plant. On the plant, they're maybe 2 millimeters across. You look real close in this picture, it's got 5 petals, but there's a notch in each of the petals. They go so low, it really looks like it's 10 petals. It grows pretty much only in the winter, at least around here. And it's a great green, winter green. And it's one of the reasons it's called chickweed is you have chickens and you let them out, they will decimate that. Won't be any left. It's a great plant for winter. You need greens in the winter. Vitamin C is another one of these plants that makes you pee a lot. Let's see.
I found some recipes here. Radish and kudzu soup.
Yeah.
It's got the kudzu leaves.
If you put it on your sandwiches. It's got a little bitty square stem with lots of hairs. You're looking for that little bitty white flower with 5 petals that look like a pen. There's some other things that look similar to that, but that flower will tell you that it's
Okay, there's something called kudzu manju, which are Japanese dumplings. You use the flour powder as a flour to make the dumplings, to make the bread for it. Kudzu gumbo, creamed fried green tomatoes and kudzu.
the starch from the root of the kudzu is considered one of the best starches in the world for coating food to
Yeah,
fry.
yeah, it's a good coating for food. Kudzu dandelion coffee.
Did they roast this fruit?
Actually, it says roasted dandelion root powder. So we have to put our roasted dandelion root in the spice grinder. And 1.5 teaspoons kudzu powder with water and salt for coffee. So we can try that like tomorrow.
Jelly out of the coffee.
Yeah, maybe.
Starch, you get starch in boiling water, it sucks up that water, it expands, forms a gel like.
baked
Some
sweet
stuff.
Georgia Vidalia onions and kudzu,
Probably be pretty good.
sour hot rice,
Yeah,
bacon, vinegar, salt, kudzu.
when you go to harvest the kudzu, get yourself a good spade and a good hoe, not hoe, shovel, because the roots can go down 4 foot.
Kentucky kudzu mint julep. Yes. As you say, and this is something, if you're in the Southeast, this is everywhere. Just have to make sure the kudzu that you're harvesting hasn't been sprayed with any defoliant.
Also used for feeding um, sheep and goats and cattle. But like the bees, they only eat it if they have very little else. Back in winter,
Oh,
which probably makes harvesting the roots a lot.
can you talk to us about dead nettle?
This is the time of year for dead nettle.
This is the time of year dead nettle all over the place out there. And I think anybody in the United States, it grows everywhere.
Not the plants. And
This is dead nettle, y'all.
it's paper.
It's like any paper. I did a video on the channel, it was very new, sitting in a patch of dead nettle and talking about how you can either pick it up and bit into it and feed it a little bit, and it proceeded to stick in my throat.
Yeah.
And I was choking, coughing, and I ended up flopping over because I couldn't talk.
There are some people who pick flowers with the salad.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
It's anti-inflammatory, it's wound healing, antioxidant, supports your digestion, and helps alleviate allergies, actually.
it has no flavor. This
So
might as well be eating paper.
might as well be eating paper, says Charlie. So that's it. There's more plants that we can talk about that you can plant, that you can forage from the wild and bring home into your garden, that are perennials, good for you, and actually taste good.
Chicory.
Hickory's good.
And
It's not in Nevada.
let's see.
Charlie, Charlie taught me to eat bird's foot violet. Of course, we've got pecan trees all over the South here that are great.
Hickory.
So that's about 27 different things we've
Cherry.
listed for you that is possible to grow as perennials and or store for months at a time, farmed properly, that are easy to grow. They were instrumental in helping people survive the Depression and the war years, the World Wars, which I think we're heading to another bout of that. And things are definitely going to be challenging in all of North America, Canada, thanks to the political turmoil and games that our leadership is playing on us. So, what do you think? Did you learn anything, or did what, is there anything we talked about tonight that you think you're going to try? Do I know where to buy Scarrett? I just closed my file and I did find Scarrett. I ordered it. Blah, 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 blah. What did I do?
Yeah, the great thing about kudzu is that since you got that huge starchy root underground, after a nuclear war, you're going to have food.
Well, let's hope we don't have a nuclear war. I don't want to live in a post-nuclear United States. David asked me to get Scarrett. I know I just ordered some. I'm looking for it, David. I bought it from I'm going to cut and paste it.
Island Seed Company. If I remember correctly. Yep, Wild Owl, Small Island.
That's network, not netword.
$4.
Now I ordered that off of Etsy, David, and that's with shipping. I think before shipping was a couple of dollars, like $7 to ship it. But I'm with you. I'm going to plant a patch of it. We're totally redoing the homestead, the gardens this year, changing the shape, location. Hopefully, no more health problems here, right,
Charlie? I hope so.
Notice he's sitting over there with his arm in a sling because they just put a device in his chest that's both a defibrillator and pacemaker. He's got to keep his arm close to his body for 6 weeks or 5 weeks now. Just took his bandages off this weekend.
Trying to send you a URL, but I can't get into the chat thing.
So, all right, that time of night where I'm going to do a giveaway or two. Where's the wheel of names? Let's see. It's a Chrome tab. Okay, so here's the wheel of names. Where did it go? And now it went somewhere, went bye-bye. Try this again. Okay, get back to StreamYard. So
5 minutes, my thing will finally get to my phone. There it comes.
All right, let's see. If you would like a package of kudzu powder along with a kudzu cookbook, or actually instead of me buying both for you, I can send you screenshots of recipes and email. But if you want some kudzu powder, type in hashtag kudzu. You've got 1 minute from now. Hashtag kudzu. 10:40, I'll give you 10:41. Hashtag kudzu. Who's feeling brave? What?
Okay.
Yes, to say it's not adventurous. You only have one person want. He says he's crazy. David Gray, you don't want any kudzu powder. You asked that you're in the United States to participate in these. Okay, Xander, you get it. I'll send you 3 or 4 recipes, okay? You shoot me an email, would you, with your mailing address and which one. Um, I can get that going to you. All right. Do I need to put my email up or do you have it? Do you know it? There's the email if you need it. Okay. All right. Let's see. I tell you what. Who wants some skirret?
I just URL on the chat.
You did.
Small Island Seeds.
Oh, yeah. Reflect on life. Y'all didn't know that's Charlie. All right. So. Type in hashtag skirret. You've got a minute. 10:43. You got 10:44. If you want skillet, hashtag skillet. Skirret. I can't even say it. Hashtag skirret. Only 2 people. All right, I'm going to pull the trigger. David. Yay, David. Take notes. I usually do 3 different things. Last drawing we'll do tonight will be for seeds. Your choice. Actually, is anyone interested in a seed pod one of the peppers I grew. It's called pineapple. It's a yellow pepper from Peru that kind of tastes fruity as with the heat of a habanero. Um, I'm going to say do hashtag ahi. It's 10:46. You got a minute. Open to everyone in the room. Suzanne, Sander, David, did you want in on that one? I think he's happy with his skillet. You don't want hot peppers, David? Gwen, are you asleep? Are you three people in here? All right, just two people on the wheel. All right, Suzanne, there you go. So I want to thank everyone for coming in tonight and spending time with us. Time is special and it's precious. And I hope that I gave you some information that was interesting to you. If you want a copy of my presentation, the notes on each of the plants, a little blurb on each of the plants we went over, send me an email and I'll put the file in and email it to you. A lot of it has plant instructions. And be well. We're going to have to lean on each other more and be kind to each other. Kindness is a rare thing nowadays. Uh, Try not to be depressed. I fight depression anyway, but with everything that's going on, it's kind of a bummer. I'm going to get out in the garden more, but good Lord, it's cold weather. I can't wait till it warms up. It's 36 now, and I got to send Charlie to the greenhouse. Um, so other than that, thanks for stopping in. I'll try to do another one of these uh, in 2 weeks. We got the next. I know I said I was going to have my friend Barry in as a guest, but he works at National Public Radio and follow the news. He's job scared right now, so I don't know if he's going to move to visit. But I'll try to ask him again if he wants to get his mind off the things, talk about journalism. But we'll see. So until next time, be good, be well, have a good time, all that mushy stuff. Charlie, take care. Y'all come back now here. Bye.
Get out. Just got to get everybody getting out.